about buying any used triathlon or road bike. Do that before you do anything. I just realized something on that trip to the camera store. Hola, trainerinos. One of the more common questions that I get asked is, I am thinking about buying a used ... bike. I've got a deal on a used ... bike. What do you think about the ... bike? Well, here are going to be some principles that you can use about buying any used triathlon or road bike, all right? Listen up, write it down. I don't want to have to repeat myself. Now let's talk about getting sized up on a bike. Often people will ask me, I am 5'9" and I have a 32-inch inseam. Not me, I'm midget size actually. What size bike should I get? Well, you know what, I can't really tell you. You need a bike shop for that. And what I would recommend doing is, it's kind of a shitty thing to do, but if you patronize a local bike shop regularly and spend a fair bit of dough in there in other things, they might be a little more willing to help size you up. So if they know that you're going to be coming in, you're going to be buying all the accessories, you're going to be buying all the parts, all the things to maintain the bike, go into your local bike shop and get sized up and ask them what size bike you should be on. Do that before you do anything. One of the biggest determinants about, are you in a good price point at a bike that is going to last quite a while and hold its value for a while, are the components. Probably the most common set of components that you're going to be looking at are Shimano 105s. That's what's on this bike here. However, this bike is a 2016 model. Shimano 105 in the 2016-2017 model is basically old Ultegra from 2014, my old bikes. Because as bikes continue to go on in years, what happens is the trickle-down effect of the nicer models of components ends up coming down into the entry-level models. Now let's say that you are buying a used bike, it's going to be a few years old, so you want a better level of components than the entry level of today. So what I would recommend is, if it's Shimano, you want Shimano Ultegra or Shimano Dura-Ace. If it's SRAM, you want SRAM Red or SRAM Force. Shimano 105 or SRAM, I think it's Apex from several years ago. Those are really entry-level components that aren't going to hold up and stand the test of time after 3-4 years of riding. So you're going to be getting a level of component that is probably had the piss ridden out of it, and you don't know if it's going to last very long. In addition to that, it's not going to hold its value. Next thing is the frame itself. If you aren't getting a brand new bike, hopefully you can afford an all-carbon bike. An all-carbon bike is going to be the lightest, typically more aerodynamic, because you can design things like this big, long aerodynamic headset and curved, like teardrop shaped seat posts and down tubes and things like that all over the bike. So ideally you want to be getting a carbon bike. Carbon is very tough. However, if there's a crack in it, if there's a chip in it, if there's a dent in it, like if there's a knock out of the frame anywhere, that's going to be a weak point and it's going to be very dangerous. So you want to look over the entire frame for any cracks, any chips, any dents, any major scuffs. You can also like go through the whole thing, and you want it to sound very solid. If you start hearing places that it sounds like something's busted, and you'll know it when you hear it, you're not going to want to pick up that bike, because odds are it's got a flaw in the frame. Next thing you want to look at to make sure that you're not going to have a complete disaster with the bike is look at all the bolts and screws on the bike. If there are areas that you have strip bolts, strip screws, that's a sign that you're going to have a big problem on your hands, that you might have to take it into a bike shop and you're not going to be able to work on it yourself. Similarly to that, you want to check the seat post. Make sure that it can go up and down and that it hasn't been rusted into one spot. And you want to ask the owner about indoor training. If they've been on an indoor trainer quite a bit, you kind of want to feel them out and ask if they've put a towel over top of the headset like you see me doing often on the indoor trainer. Because if they haven't, they've probably sweated into the headset and you can't see from the outside, but that's probably caused a fair bit of corrosion on the inside and you could have a big problem on your hands. hands. The headset might be seized up, and I've heard as much as having to throw away a bike because people have sweated into the headset of their bike. Rough, eh? And then finally, you want to spin the wheels and look at it head on and watch for trueness. If there's any sort of wobble back and forth, you got yourself a set of wheels that are untrue. If it's an aluminum rim, it'll be fairly easy to true up, but if it's a deep section rim at all, you're gonna be in trouble, son. And then lastly, you might think that I might tell you to look at the chain or the cassette and see what kind of condition that's in or where the brake pads are, but frankly, those are like changing the oil in your car. You're gonna have to do it. If you buy a used car, you're still gonna have to change the oil. Those are things that you just cycle through on a year or bi-yearly basis. So even if the cassette is worn down, if the chain has a lot of stretch, if the brake pads are worn down, whatever. What I'm looking for with all of these tips is to get you in a position that you're getting a bike that's going to be easy to work on. You're not going to have any major costs after buying the bike, and it's going to hold up and hold its value after you buy it and decide that you want something shinier and newer 2 years down the road. Because let's face it, new bike day, best day. Fortunately, today had nothing to do with new bike day. It had everything to do with long run day, and it knocked the piss out of me. Whew. Body's retaliating, Trainiacs. Does not like me now. No cameras, please. Well, Sony, your time has come to an end with this channel. I mentioned to you before, well, a while ago, that we got this big telephoto Sony RX10 Mark III. Well, it was awesome for beautiful slow motion, long video footage from like a mile away. But the battery life sucked, and anything but perfect bright lighting conditions sucked. And then lately I've been trying this Sony RX100 Mark V, which is like the go-to vlogging camera for tons and tons of vloggers out there. However, I don't think many of those vloggers live in Winnipeg. They're only like New York, California, or they travel all around the world where they actually have an outdoors that they can go to year round. Well, outdoors, again, this Sony RX100, yeah, you don't have a stop sign. No, you absolutely don't have a stop sign. RX100 Mark V, as soon as you take it inside, same thing, because it's just got this wee little 1-inch sensor. Now, as much as I keep trying to outsmart myself by changing different cameras, the old trusty GH4, it's what works. I'm gonna bring this back. I just realized something on that trip to the camera store. You know how I recommend that you patronize your local bike shop and develop a good relationship with them, because there's going to be that one time out of 10 visits that you really need a favor, and if you haven't patronized your local bike shop because you've ordered everything online and then you show up and you're like, hey, can you help me out? They'd be like, piss off. Same thing at the camera store. I gotta start ordering more things at the camera store, like this. This is a thing that you go basically underneath your chin here. There's a little clip, and then you take that clip and you clip the camera into my backpack. Living in the future here, folks.